IFAD is a Syrian shepherd far from home. Fleeing violence in the ongoing Syrian civil war, he and his family found safety in neighboring Jordan. Around the world, more than 65 million people, like IFAD, have been displaced because of wars or fear of persecution. But nowhere has the crisis been more visible than in the Near East and North Africa region.
When you listen to the news, read the papers every day, you hear of the migration crisis in the region, and Jordan is heavily impacted by this crisis.
The Zaatari refugee camp in Jordan, in the governorate of Mafraq, is home to more than 120,000 Syrian refugees. Once a small rural town, it's now the fourth largest city in the country. The pressure on local people and resources is enormous.
The Mafraq governorate is facing tremendous challenges that include increasing economic pressure on the Jordanians because of competition for jobs from skilled Syrian labor, high poverty and unemployment rates, and a bigger demand for basic services such as water, electricity, healthcare, and education.
Most refugee camps, not just here but around the world, are based in poor rural areas like Mafraq. And although Zaatari may be the largest Syrian refugee camp in the world, only a small percentage of refugees actually stay here.
We have about 4.8 million refugees, Syrian refugees. Out of this, only 10% are in camps. So where are they? They are mostly in rural areas. Naturally, most of the refugees coming from Syria came from rural areas. They were good farmers, and naturally they went to rural areas.
IFAD estimates that 90% of Syrian refugees entering Jordan move into rural areas in search of work, a roof over their heads, food to eat. But in Mafraq, local farmers were already struggling. Climate change was having an impact on crop yields, incomes were shrinking, and unemployment was on the rise. The sudden influx of thousands of refugees created competition for jobs, services, and food, not only threatening local development, but peace in the region. Bridging the gap between humanitarian and development assistance was essential. So in 2014, an IFAD-financed project, in partnership with the Jordan River Foundation, began working to balance the needs of refugees with support for local development. The project offered training for farmers and Syrian refugees, helping boost local food production, improve livestock, and spark opportunities to earn additional income.
We have received training on how, when, and what to plant, as well as business training that enable us to have a successful activity, creating 2 permanent jobs and 13 temporary ones for both Jordanians and Syrians.
With the right training, as well as access to microfinance, many small businesses were born.
I was able to get a loan and started doing cheese, yogurt, and ghee. I'm now selling the products to my neighbors and relatives with reasonable prices. This has helped me to generate some additional income for me and my family.
More than 2,000 local families now produce nutritious foods and earn income from selling the surplus. And new jobs are being created. As the Nashama cooperative grew more successful, they needed a skilled shepherd, and IFAD, a Syrian refugee, was the perfect fit.
My life in the camp wasn't bad, but of course, when I joined this project, it was changed for the better, because I started working and making money.
It may be years before Syrian refugees like IFAD can return home. The average displacement time for the millions whose lives have been uprooted by conflict and natural disasters is now 17 years. Inevitably, finding long-term development solutions will be just as important to refugees as it will be to the rural communities they now call home.